I'm Daria Solovyeva, managing editor at ETF.com, and I'm joined here with Rafael Zayas.
Hello.
Thanks for joining.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Who's the head of portfolio management and trading at Vident. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
So I wanted to start with, I know that your firm deals with ETFs and direct indexing as well. Are there any trends that you're seeing in terms of customers favoring one over the other?
No, I think we're continuing to see assets continue to move into ETFs, especially with the new active products that are out there. Having said that, I think a lot of wealth managers are thinking about, building ETF portfolios, maybe looking at direct indexing or SMAs. And so we're seeing a lot of activity in both and conversations about both. But having said that, I think we still see a lot of growth in the ETF ecosystem. We still see that being, a lot of assets moving that way.
For sure. And in terms of Vanguard's patent expiring recently, how do you see, a lot of issuers adjusting to it or looking for other options? What is kind of your crystal ball prediction?
I don't know if I have a crystal ball, but I think a lot of potential issuers really want to be able to do that. And so if there's a way forward, if someone can break through, I think there'd be a lot of demand for that kind of product. I think it's going to be a while still. I think there's still a lot of skepticism that the SEC will move on that to make it a viable option. So I think in the interim, I think a lot of firms are still looking at, can we, convert existing assets in mutual funds or SMAs or something like that to create ETF products as they're demanded.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of the buzzy topics at the conference today is, of course, artificial intelligence, gaining a lot of attention there. I just wanted to, from your perspective, what are some of the constraints that the potential issuers are seeing that are looking at AI ETFs today?
Yeah. So when we've talked to an issuer who's had AI as part of the investment management process for the product, I think one of the big things that we warn them about is that the ETF industry, ETFs themselves, are very heavily regulated vehicles. And a lot of the people who are very AI savvy aren't necessarily compliance savvy, right? And so trying to educate them about the actual constraints of what is the regulatory framework in which you're trying to operate, what are the logistical constraints, what are the operational constraints, what are the market making constraints of launching a product like that. And so I think it's just, we've been having a lot of productive conversations where just making sure that potential ETF issuers, AI or active managers, human intelligence or artificial intelligence, all struggling with that. And so we help educate a lot of firms on that.
Because it remains to be an evolving
That's exactly right. And I think we're going to see a lot of that blow up. I think we've seen a lot of issuers come to market. We've seen a few issuers come to market over the last few years. So I think the ETF space has been ahead of, Chat GPT, right? The ETFs have been trying to do that for a few years. And I suspect we're going to see a lot of people, especially if one of those products becomes very popular, a lot of copycat products trying to do the same thing.
Sure. And one of the interesting points you made at the panel is really about ETF industry being ahead of mainstream when it comes to AI ETFs. Could you tell me more about what you meant by that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI has been in the mainstream buzzy for just this year, really, with ChatGPT and some other LLMs that have come out. I think, but the ETF industry has been launching AI-based products for years at this point. And so I really see that the ETF industry, because it's so competitive, people are so eager to innovate. We've seen that ETF issuers actually trying to get into the AI game well ahead of the mainstream buzz that we're seeing today.
That makes a lot of sense. In terms of the challenges or conversations that you're having with clients, is there a recurring theme or concern? What kind of challenges that they're bringing up to you?
Yeah, I think there's always the challenge of distribution. People are always looking for how do you sell product, how do you effectively market your products. We're seeing a lot of issuers potentially thinking about expanding their portfolio, where if they only traditionally have equity portfolios, maybe they want to think about, a different asset class. Can they expand their IP into fixed income or commodities or other asset classes? And yeah, I think that's the big thing, is just really trying to make sure that you have a good product lineup that kind of supports your business.
Great. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.